Hi guys, GE here. It is time for me to update my Davinci Resolve, so I figured it would be a good idea to go ahead and knock this video out to basically show one, how to configure OBS for recording, for your recordings in OBS to work with Davinci Resolve, and two, how to install Davinci Resolve and get it configured, and lastly, how to allow DaVinci Resolve to encode using AMD and Intel GPUs. Because, yes, there are free plugins that our community has created that work with the studio version of Resolve. Unfortunately, the free version doesn't allow plugins, but if you have the studio version, you can throw these plugins in, and they will allow you to not only encode using your AMD or Intel GPU with H.264, H.265, AV1, but also with X.264, X.265, and ProRes, which are, those are CPU encode. DaVinci Resolve by default doesn't have those either. So, they're all things you're going to want. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. As you can see, I've got the welcome app open. We've got our optional steps. If we hit launch here, it's going to give you this, and you want to use this wizard. If you just go to the DaVinci Resolve website and you download the installer and then you run the installer directly, you're not going to get the fixes that are needed in order for it to run properly on Fedora. DaVinci Resolve is by default only designed to run on a couple of specific versions of Linux, and Fedora isn't one of them. Nobara isn't one of them. You're basically, if you use the default, it's only for like Ubuntu, and like I think it's a specific version of Ubuntu and or a specific version of RHEL. I haven't checked in a while, but long story short, you want to do this. You want to use this wizard. It's going to download any packages that you need. It's going to do any fixes to Resolve that you need, and yeah. So what's going to happen is you're going to want to click this. It's going to bring up a web page. I'll bring this over. Move to new window. Okay. You're going to go over here. Hit this. If you want the free version, hit the Linux free version. If you want this sort version, you hit the Linux paid version. I've already downloaded it, so I'm not going to click it. But I'll tell you, if I click this, I just hit download here, and it'll start the download. Okay, so we're going to close that. After I've downloaded it, we're going to hit select downloaded file, right? This is the one that I downloaded. So we're going to double click this, and it's immediately going to say running DaVinci Resolve installer. At this point, you just wait. Wait for it to do its thing, and within a minute or so, it'll finish. Now, if you don't have it doesn't matter if you have DaVinci Resolve installed already or not, or if you're upgrading, you want to do it the same way. Either way, if it's a fresh install, do this. If you're updating, do this. It's gonna overwrite all the files that you have if you're updating. And for a fresh install, it's going to do a fresh install. Okay, so it says DaVinci Resolve installed successfully. Okay, close that out. Close that out. And we'll go to DaVinci Resolve. It opened on my other window. Let's see if I can move this more. Move. Yeah, okay. So for me, it opened up because I already have my serial number plugged in. But if you didn't have your serial number plugged in, it would ask you for your serial number. You plug it in, and then it launches. Right? So let me launch one of my test ones over here. Oh, did I not? That's one that I don't have the files available for anymore. So let me open another one. Do I have the files for this one? I don't remember if I do or not. No, I don't have the files for this one. Oh, I do. Okay. Let me move this over. More. Move. There we go. All right. You can ignore all this. This is just dumbness. Go to media. I'm going to remove some of this media that's offline here. Okay, so this is an H.264 video. It can decode H.264, H.265, AV1. If you go to Davinci Resolve and you go to Preferences, you're going to want to go to Memory and GPU. And for AMD, you're going to, if it's going to have things auto-selected, especially if you have dual GPUs, like my system has it has an iGPU, so it has that selected for the iGPU. You're only going to want to select the one main GPU that you're using for Resolve. Okay? Make sure this is OpenGL for AMD or Intel. For NVIDIA, obviously you would set it to, CUDA, and then select your NVIDIA GPU. Okay? Hit save on that. Now, for encoding, by default, if you're on AMD or Intel, you're not going to be able to have any encode options. Like if I go over here to deliver, and I go, see how right now I have the option to encode for MP4 as well as MKV. Neither of those are going to exist on a default install. And two, if you notice, I can encode VAPI AV1, H.264, H.265, as well as all these X265 options. And I can go to QuickTime and I can encode in ProRes, right? You're not going to have those options by default. So what you want to do is, if you go to our Nobara wiki.nobaraproject.org, let me move this over. Okay, and you go down to Davinci Resolve. And you go through here. This is basically the same guide that I just went over, right? This is telling you to install Rockham. If you don't have Rockham installed, it will install it automatically when it's going through here, just FYI. So, this is where we explain the limitations for encoding and decode support. Right here, here's one tarball that you can download. That'll give you X264, X265 CPU encoding and ProRes plugins. The second one here, this will give you your H.264, H.265, and AV1 encode through your GPU for AMD and Intel. And that's another tarball. So you basically just download both of those, extract them to a folder, and then you're going to move the downloads, and I can do this. I can show you that I've already done it. I have a lot of stuff in my downloads folder. Let me just go to my opt folder. Okay, so this is easier for you to show. So these would be the tarballs that you downloaded. And when you extract the tarballs, there's going to be two folders. One is DR X264, X265 ProRes, which is right here, that I extracted. And the other one is DR VAPI, which I've extracted. By default, you're not going to be able to do them in the opt folder. You'll have to do them in the folder that you downloaded them to. And then after you've downloaded them and extracted them, here's the command, the sudo commands that you would run from the downloads folder or wherever you extracted those folders to move them into the IO plugins folder. Once you have them moved into the IO plugins folder, then you will have all of those options in Davinci Resolve. That really gives you like a whole new playground for Davinci Resolve. I don't really need this anymore. Let me see if I can import a new, because this looks really bad since I have, it's just files that I don't have on here anymore. especially since I edited the audio too. This is an old project, so I don't really care if I... Like, this is the video that I already posted to you guys. So, let's see. I'm going to delete these. Delete. And let me see if I have something that I recorded. Home. Okay, I do. So, let's just drag one of these over and see if that works. There we go. I think this is H264, H265, AV1. Let me see. If you're not sure which one, you can do FF probe, and this is 2025, 7, 11, 18 to 7. Okay, so this one's, yeah, this one's an AV1 encoded. This video is AV1 encoded. We'll throw it over here. And we'll go to edit. You can see my audio is there. And then we'll go to deliver. And I'll change this to MP4. You can do AV1, H264, H265, whichever one you want. Since we're already in AV1, let's just change it to X265. We'll add to render queue. And I'm going to replace the file that's already there. Render it. And now it's using my GPU to encode. Okay, now I'm actually using my GPU to encode this video while I'm recording, so I'm like rendering while I'm recording. I hope it doesn't mess up the video. We'll find out. But anyway, so by the way, this video was messed up because I was recording for HDR settings, so don't mind the faded colors. That's just because of the way that I recorded the video. So if we go to, let's see, when I recorded that, it should go to my videos and go to Untitled, right here, right? Nope, that's the old one. What did I name it? Timeline 1. Here it is. So this is the new one that we just... Yeah, there it is. So my hair is wild. But yeah, so there you go. I just encoded a video using VAPI on an AMD GPU in Davinci Resolve on Linux. So that should help with that. Now, the other thing that you want to do is if you're recording in OBS, which I am right here, if I go to my settings in OBS and I go to output, go to recording, you're going to want to make sure you're on the advanced tab here. Here's where you can set your settings. Notice that my audio is set to FFmpeg PCM. You can do PCM, you could do Opus, you could do FLAC. I typically just go to good old PCM 24-bit. Set it to that. And the reason is because Davinci Resolve does not support AAC audio by default. If you try to import a video that has AAC audio, it's not going to show the audio channel down here, and you're going to have a mess. Now, let's say you went and recorded this video, and you were like, oops, I forgot to change it. It's got AAC audio. Well, if you go back on our wiki, I don't remember which one it is. This one? Okay. So if you go back on our wiki, we also go over that. We give you a command where you can re-encode your video using PCM24. And that'll re-encode the video that you already have with the exact same quality and just replace the AAC audio with PCM24. So that's kind of a last resort, but preferably you want to have it set in OBS where it records it records using PCM. Sorry, I had to minimize Resolve. That's one thing that kind of drives me nuts with Resolve is that it doesn't give you a title bar by default. So it's annoying to mess with. Couple other things in OBS, since I'm here. If you want to capture a game, right? A lot of people have problems with this. One thing that we mentioned on our wiki is if you go back here to the main and we go to was it preferred native packages, right? There's a very tiny list of packages that we prefer if you're using Nobara to use the native packages. Do not use a snap or a flat pack for these. Basically, so if you open Flatpost, that's for flat packs. It's going to install only flat packs. So with these here, Steam comes pre-installed, Lutris comes pre-installed, GameScope comes pre-installed, Mango Hut comes pre-installed, PrismLauncher comes pre-installed. I'll get into that as well. But OBS Studio is something that is not pre-installed. Actually, I don't think PrismLauncher is pre-installed either. But OBS Studio is not pre-installed, so typically most people will be like, oh, let me just go to Flatpost and install OBS. No, you don't want to do that. OBS is one of those things that you want to open the Welcome app. And if you go to Recommended Editions, it's right here. And this will install OBS. Okay? So you really, really want this as well. In the future, we might actually add OBS because now it's possible to build OBS as part of Fedora. They had a problem with the browser stuff for a long time, but they finally resolved that, so we may be able to finally include it in future versions. But for now, you want to install the native package. And the reason is we include in our native package a lot of plugins that don't generally come with OBS, but they help a lot. So if we go to OBS, like this is the list of plugins that we have. Obviously the browser plugin for adding browser pages here. We also have, let me move this a little bit. Media playlist source. This is a alternative to the VLC media playlist plugin. We do have the media playlist, the VLC version too, but this one is free, open source, and works with most other media players other than VLC, whereas the VLC one is specifically for VLC. Distro AV, this is previously known as OBS NDI, allows you to capture over NDI. Background removal is useful. It allows you to remove the background from your camera virtually. VK capture, this is your game capture. These two right here, these are your 64-bit and your 32-bit game capture. Okay? These are really important. I'll show you how they work. Pipewire audio, this one allows you to capture Pipewire audio sources. See, audio input capture, Pipewire, pulse audio, Pipewire, output capture, Pipewire, pulse audio. So you can capture audio sources using this plugin. X264, this is the standard X264 plugin that comes with OBS by default. But by default, Fedora replaces X264 with OpenH264. So if I go to output here, normally, if I were to go to streaming, see how it says video encoder OpenH264? You don't need X264. If you use OpenH264, it will record the exact same way, the exact same quality, everything as X264 does. So technically, you don't need this at all. This is the proprietary version. Well, it's a codec encumbered version, which is annoying. Which is another reason that Fedora replaced it with OpenH264. Because they can ship this one. We can ship this one. So if you don't have this plugin, don't freak out because you don't need it. OBS Studio plugin VAPI. This plugin gives you VAPI encoding support through GStreamer. By default, the one that comes with OBS, this is another one that you don't really need, but some people still like. The one that comes with OBS by default, it uses FFmpeg as the backend, which is the preferred backend. It works, to me, I think it works a lot better. But if you wanted to use GStreamer instead of FFmpeg, there's that plugin as well. So with that being said, let me show you how the game capture plugin works. All right. First, we'll do the easy bit. Out of the box, Nobara has the environment variable set for game capture. Okay? So if I go to a game, let me find something that's really quick and easy to open. Maybe. We'll see. I have so many games. Oh my god. I'm trying to find one that's gonna be quick to open. I don't know which though. Dota 2 maybe? Oh, Dota 2 needs an update. What about Counter-Strike? Counter-Strike 2 also needs an update. Let's see, how long is it going to take to update? Oh, not long. Okay, so we'll do Counter-Strike 2 as an example. By default, if you were not on Nobara, you would want to do either OBS, VK capture, or OBS game capture. And let me make sure this is not being blocked by my camera. Okay, so you OBS game capture command. Okay, this works for both OpenGL and Vulkan games. If it's just a Vulkan game, you know, your DXVK games, your VKD3 games, anything that's running through Proton that uses Vulkan, you don't need this. If you're on Nobara, you don't need anything for that. If you're not on Nobara, you might need like. Let me find out what the environment variable is, because I don't remember. Okay, there we go. So if you were not on Nobara, you would need these two for Vulkan capture. Or you would just need the OBS game capture option that I just showed you, right? You would need those two, and then you would do command. But since we're on Nobara, that's globally set, so we don't have to do anything there. We'll just do it like that. We don't need a compatibility tool set because this is a native Linux game. Let me hit play here. I'm going to move this over here. Skip that. And it opened on the wrong screen. Such is my life. Okay, let me see. More. I don't know if it's going to let me move it to this screen. Maybe. Okay, right now I have a screen. Let me show you this too. So right now I have screen capture on, right? You don't want to do this for games because it's really resource intensive. It looks like crap when you're streaming or when you're recording. So what you're going to do is turn this off. And you're going to go right click, add source, go down to game capture. Okay, you hit game capture, and you don't have to set any settings for it. The only thing you're going to have to do, maybe, let me turn it on first. Okay, I'm going to turn it on. If I go to properties, it says capture any window. And boom. You can see right off the bat it automatically started capturing Counter-Strike for its default option. If you have it set to capture any window, it'll capture whatever Vulkan window it finds. Or you can choose a specific window if it allows it. It allows capturing Counter-Strike 2. So hit OK there. And you can enable HDR on it if you really need to. I don't need to at the moment. Okay, hit OK. But boom. That is how your game capture works on Linux with OBS. That's the best way that you're going to be able to do game capture. You don't want to do any other way, to be honest. Okay, so close here. That's how you do that. Now, let's say you want to capture an OpenGL game, right? So let me go ahead and get out of Counter-Strike. Where's my Steam? Hit stop. Confirm. Now, let's try Minecraft. Okay, so this is another one. Remember, I mentioned PrismLauncher. I don't think I have PrismLauncher installed. So let's see if I can go ahead and install it. I don't remember if we still have it or not. Show DNF install PrismLauncher. Okay, so I just installed it through here, but I mean, you can go through the Nobara package manager and do it as well. If you went to like the package manager here, and you went to search PrismLauncher, and you can see this is where you can install it through the package manager as well. All right, so just FYI. Let's clean this screen up a little bit. Oh, I just realized that I had my... All right, anyway, what I was showing off is that I installed it through Bash here, but you can also open the package manager, search PrismLauncher, and it's right there, and you can install it through the package manager just like that. All right, so we've got PrismLauncher installed. Let me, again, clear this out. Close this, close this, close this. Just clean this up. I've got so much stuff open right now. Close all that, close this. We don't need this. Okay, so let's open PrismLauncher. English, simple, okay. I honestly don't remember what my Microsoft account is. Oh, actually I do. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. I had to log in. PrismLauncher is logged into my account now. Let's go ahead and hit Add Instance. Okay, we'll hit the latest version. Sure, why not? And let's go ahead and hit Launch. Let it do its thing. Nope, it opened on this window.
Press enter to enable the narrator.
Oh god. Okay, so anyway, here we go. We got our Minecraft option open, obviously in a tiny window. You can adjust whatever settings you want for your display. But if you notice, if I turn off my screen capture, turn on my game capture, it's there. Holy butts. That's wild. Do you want to know why? This is an OpenGL game, but we've configured PrismLauncher for Minecraft in Nobara. That's why, and that's why we say in the wiki, use our version of PrismLauncher, and I'll show you why. So let me close this, right? And I'm going to open up a console, and we're going to read the file for which PrismLauncher. I think it's maybe it's which Prism Launcher. Oh, that's not it. Prism. Okay, there we go. User bin. Clear. Alright. So just let me make this bigger so you guys can see. And let me turn this capture back on. Now, as I said, on Nobara, we have a modified version of PrismLauncher. If I cat this file, you can see we're setting manually to use OBS game capture for PrismLauncher and anything that comes out of it. This is necessary for anything that's OpenGL. Now, as another, you saw that it automatically captured because we had it set up correctly using this. If you were to, for example, instead go to Flatpost and install PrismLauncher from Flatpost, it's not going to capture anything. So that's not a good thing. So if we go, here's another example. If I go back to Steam, right, and I go to, let's find an OpenGL game here. Wolfenstein, The Old Blood. This is an OpenGL game. Okay, compatibility, let's change this to latest version GE. Okay, and we're going to hit play. Accept. Any day now. Of course, it opens on the wrong screen. There we go. Okay, so I have my screen capture on right now. If I turn this off, and I turn game capture on, you can't see anything, right? Look, I'm on game capture. Even if I go here and I go to properties, oh, come on. Like, there's nothing in the drop-down that I can select. So how do I fix this? Well, the reason it's doing this is because Wolfenstein: The Old Blood is an OpenGL game. It uses the OpenGL renderer. It does not use Vulkan. Even if you use Proton, it's going to default, because the Windows version uses OpenGL. So it doesn't have any DirectX translation. So, how do we get it to capture with our game capture without using windowed mode? I'm going to show you how. Let's hit stop, confirm, and remember what I showed you in our PrismLauncher that we do for Nobara. We do the exact same thing here. OBS, game capture, command. You only need to do this for OpenGL games. I'm going to say it a million times. Drill it into your brain. So if we do that, now we hit play. And I'm going to turn off, oh, and of course it went to the wrong screen again. Screen 1. And let me go to my game capture. And now, let me show you this. Now, let me show you this one more time. Okay. So if I go, you see I have my game capture right here, right? I'm gonna move this down here just so I can show it properly. Monitor problems. Okay, so properties. Notice I can choose Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, right? Hit OK. Hit OK. I'm going to turn off my screen capture. Move my game capture up here. And I have to move OBS over to the side because I have to open the game. And now my game captures. So now you have either direct game capture through OpenGL or direct game capture through Vulkan, and you don't have to capture the entire window and blow up all your system resources. Okay? That's how you do it. That's the proper way to do it. A lot of people struggle to figure that out. So hopefully that helps. Bring this back. Bring this back. Whew. Man, I feel like I covered quite a bit in this video. I mainly wanted to cover like OBS and Davinci Resolve and how to capture games correctly, and how to encode using your GPU in Davinci Resolve, even though it's officially not supported. This allows you to do it through plugins. I hope that helps. Again, I'll throw some timestamps in the description. I know this has been a kind of like a long rambling video. I just kind of wanted to do it all in one shot and get it done with. I've been meaning to do it for a while. I just finally got around to it because it was time to upgrade Resolve. So yeah, again, I hope this helps. I think I'll add this to my series of how to do things in Nobara, and maybe the next time I'll go through some gaming basics on how to set up, just games, just quick stuff. All right, see you guys in the next one.